Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tips with Tony's Topic Tuesdays. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. If you listen to my podcast, you hear me say that over and over and over again. I am a proud business owner of Diet Tips with Tony Marinucci, MSRD LLC, where I provide online nutrition counseling for those who are really tired of trying all the different diets out there and are really just looking to feel better in their skin, develop healthy eating habits and behaviors so they can overcome the perpetuous cycle of under or overeating, and really learn to use food as fuel and as a way to empower them and get them to achieve pretty much anything that they want in their life. So that's really what I specialize in with my individualized counseling online. And something that I also do is go live every Tuesday. I have my blog, and I also do, in-person workshops and seminars. And my purpose of going live each week and doing all of these different things that I do is to really educate the public and give you sustainable, realistic recommendations and tools that you can use in your life. And you can sift through all the mumbo jumbo that's on there on the internet and find the truth. That's really why I do these talks each week, is because I really care. I want you to have the right information in front of you so that way if you do want to create some sort of healthy eating change, you can. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. So happy to have you guys on. This talk, I think, is going to be really helpful for you because it's all about how to have a better barbecue. For, Memorial Day weekend is this weekend, and it's just the beginning to a summer filled of barbecues and pool parties and all of these different things going on throughout the summer that although we think, the summer means maybe we'll try to eat a little healthier because maybe we're wearing less clothes and we want to be more comfortable, we usually get through the summer and we completely go the complete opposite way and just say, you know what, screw it. So, hey Tasha, hi, thanks guys for tuning in. So I'm going to help you get through not just Memorial Day weekend, but the summer in general, whether you have a pool party to go to or a barbecue to go to or a picnic to attend, these tips and tricks can be utilized in just about anywhere that you go. All right. Just a couple updates before we get started. If you have not subscribed to the Tips with Tony podcast, please do so. I'm also a member of the Gym Wits podcast, so subscribe and write a comment or review if you like us. And I think that's really it. That's the only thing I wanted to update you with. At the end, those of you who stick around to the very end, I always offer a special offer just for you because I want to work with people who are invested and are looking to really learn the answers. So if you watch to the end, you get a little mini prize, I guess you could say. So stay put for that. Thank you, Tasha. I don't know what I did, but thanks. All right. So the number one thing, I'm going to tell you about how to navigate through the menu and choose healthier options when it comes to Memorial Day and, a barbecue. But the number one thing, if you can forget everything else and only remember this one thing, I want the takeaway to be that the number one thing that you need to do before you go into the barbecue or the party is your mindset. It needs to be the decision that you are going to handle this part of your situation in whatever way you want to. Whether you're on a weight loss journey or maybe you're struggling but you're having issues with food allergies or intolerances, and going to parties is a struggle for you because it's hard for you to resist temptation. Maybe you're working on your fitness journey and you're trying to stay within your macros. Whatever your goal is, maybe you just know that when you overeat and you eat a lot of processed foods and foods that aren't in your normal daily regimen, you don't feel good. It makes you feel sluggish and tired. So that's why you choose on a regular basis to maybe not indulge in those types of foods, where in a party or situation setting, it might be there. at the end of the day, it's your choice and your decision. So I want you to go into it with a mindset and some sort of game plan, and make a solid commitment to one or two things. So I'm going to go through a list of different things that you can kind of work on. But if there's anything that I want you to do, is to go into the barbecue or party with some sort of game plan, some sort of commitment, like a commitment of what you will do and a commitment of what you won't do. So an example of this might be commitment of what I will do is when I get there, I'm going to make sure I stay hydrated with water. No ifs and buts. That's the one thing I'm going to commit to. So if someone offers me dessert and I'm not really unsure or decisive about it, I might indulge in the dessert, whatever. But the one thing for sure I know I'm going to commit to is I'm going to drink more water. Then maybe the one thing you're just going to say to yourself, I'm committing to, maybe you just choose to not drink at this barbecue because maybe you have another barbecue down the line. So your commitment is this barbecue, I'm choosing not to drink any alcohol because I know that it leads to me overeating, or maybe it's just empty calories and I rather get my calories or intake through, the barbecue type of food, whatever it is. Regardless, you go in with some sort of a commitment of what you will do and what you won't do. And if you do nothing else but stick to that, those, believe it or not, those small wins are going to get you to feel confident and comfortable, giving yourself another challenge for the next barbecue. Because I don't know about you guys, but this weekend, it's one after another, and if it's not this weekend, it's going to be another weekend. And a lot of people will say, oh, I eat healthy most of the time, but when it comes to holidays and barbecues and, events, it's a challenge. Well, here's your challenge, summer, okay? So we need to be mindful of our choices at each of these events. All right. So number one thing is your mindset. Decide what you're going to do going into it. Now, the next couple of steps I'm going to give you are things that you can do, more practical solutions, and teach you some things that you can do when not just going to a barbecue, but really any party for that matter. Okay, so you might hear people will tell you to eat a meal before you go to a party or an event, but I wouldn't necessarily have a full meal unless it's you don't want to skip breakfast and lunch if it's a dinner type of event, right? But if it's, scheduled for dinner time, I wouldn't have dinner before you go there, but I might have a snack to kind of curb your appetite a little bit, so you might not be hesitant to have all the different appetizers and snack foods that are out there, and that way you just eat kind of like the real whole foods rather than kind of picking on those things because you're going starving. Maybe you want to, before you even go, make sure you get an exercise or a workout in earlier that day. And that, to be honest, that's different for everyone. I know some people, if they do a lot of workout or cardio and they get really, really hungry and they tend to overeat to compensate. So maybe you actually don't exercise that day. But if you're someone that you realize that when you exercise, you tend to eat better and you eat less and you're more mindful of your food choices, then I would encourage you to do a workout that morning of, okay? Now, before you even get there, I want you to ask if there's anything that you can bring. And maybe, particularly, especially if you have a food allergy, I would just bring what that you can have. So if you're allergic to gluten, maybe bring gluten-free buns. Or if you have a specific diet, like maybe you're vegan or vegetarian, ask if there will be, alternatives for you there. Or if they tell you not to bring anything, if they do tell you to bring something, just try to say, okay, can I bring a vegetable platter or a fruit platter, whether it's for appetizer or for dessert. So that way, that when you go there, there's at least some sort of healthy option for you to choose from. And if they say no, bring it anyway for you personally. Unless you know where you're going, maybe it's your aunt's house that you've been to 1,000 times before, and you can just ask your aunt, hey, what's on the menu? It depends obviously on the relationship of where you're going to, but I always like to get an idea of kind of what you can bring to the table, and that's going to keep you and help you to stay on track, okay? Now, when you go there, you definitely want to, let's think about it. When you first go to a party, usually someone offers you, I would say, a drink first, right? So if you've already made the decision beforehand that you're not going to drink alcohol at this occasion, then you're just going to learn to say no thank you and have something like seltzer, or maybe even a mocktail. So it could be flavored seltzer, a splash of cranberry and some lime juice. and make it look like you're drinking so people stop bothering you the whole time, and maybe have something like that, just to help it to be easier when you're saying no thank you, so people stop offering you alcohol. Because there's only so many times you can turn down something like dessert or alcohol or those things that you're trying to limit in your diet. There's only so many times you can say no thank you, so maybe fool them a little bit and get yourself a glass with some seltzer and something like that. All right. All right, now the next thing, you get your drink. Whether you're drinking alcohol, if you choose to drink alcohol, then, it depends on your goal. Like I said, if you're working on weight management, maybe stick to, 1 or 2 drinks and choose a lightened up choice. Or maybe you choose, if you are going to drink, then maybe you choose to skip dessert that day. I did do an entire video on alcohol. So if you did not get to see that video, I strongly recommend going to tipswithtony.com in my vlog section. And it's called Rethinking Your Drinking if you're 21 and over. And you can watch that in greater detail. Okay. So choosing your drink, choosing it wisely. After you get your drink, chances are, okay, you're now around appetizers, right? The meal hasn't been, stuff's maybe cooking on the grill, you smell it, and you're getting your appetites up. So you're going to have something to snack on. Now, number one thing I think is pretty obvious is the chips and the dip, right? Really easy to add up those calories and fill in. So if you do like chips and dip, then you want to take a portion of what you want. So maybe a couple of chips and 1 to 2 tablespoons of dip, and keep that and try to just stick to that portion. Or you can get some veggies, same thing. Just do your veggies and your dip. Regardless, if you feel like you can't control yourself when it comes to the appetizers, then you just put your hand in, and that's going to lead to another hand in and another hand in. And at that point, you're going to be too full, even and before dinner or the barbecue type of food is even served. Then I strongly recommend removing yourself from the situation and not putting yourself, don't sit right in front of the chips. Like if the chips are right in front of you, either move them away or get up and go talk with someone that's not near there, engage in conversation, talk with other people. So that way you're not feeling distracted or you are distracted, and that way you're not likely to kind of overeat on the not so great stuff. All right. Staying hydrated, that's another tip. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Okay, now, another thing that you could do is drinking water as a way to kind of keep yourself feeling full. I mean, if you're hungry, you should eat, but if you know that if you overeat on chips, you're not gonna eat your meal, then you're gonna stay hydrated with water until now. Okay, now we know dinner's out, so let's scan the options. Let's see what's available. There can be healthier alternatives. If you're hosting a barbecue, I would encourage you to do some things like shrimp and vegetable kebabs, or doing some grilled chicken on the grill, or certain fishes hold up really well on the grill, like salmon and tuna steaks. It doesn't always have to be, red meat, but red meat, honestly, it can be a good alternative if it's a leaner cut, or if you're doing beef burgers, doing 93% lean ground beef, that's fine. At the end of the day, it really comes down to portion control, and what I'm going to get to next, which is balancing your plate in the proper way. But before you do that, you want to kind of scan the table, see what options are there. And when you go to build your plate, try to use these tips that I'm going to give you, which the plate method, if you're new to tuning into my channel, it is definitely a common method that registered dietitians use that I think is super helpful, because it allows you to incorporate all food groups, which you should do because all food groups provide different types of nutrients for our body. But it does it in a way that it still can keep you, maintaining a healthy weight. And that basically is filling half of your plate with non-starchy vegetables. So that might be, a salad, or, vegetables on the grill are so good. Grilled veggies peppers and onion and eggplant, get those on the grill. I said peppers. Fill up half of your plate with that and maybe some salad. The other quarter of your plate is your protein, whether it be the chicken burger or a hamburger or a cheeseburger, whatever it is, that's your protein. That's about a quarter of your plate. It's about the size of your palm. I use the palm because the palm is proportionate to your body. And if you think about a child's hand, right, a child has a much smaller hand than, say, like an NBA basketball star, right? An NBA player that's like 7 foot something needs more protein than a 3 foot little like 5 or 6 year old. I don't even know how tall kids are at certain ages, but so it's going to be different. So it's proportionate with your body. So using your hand is a really good form of measurement. So a palm-sized piece of protein, mostly veggies, and then your starch. Now at a barbecue, there's a lot of starchy options, right? You have your buns for your burgers or your hot dogs. You have potato salad, which tends to have a lot of cream, right? We have our, it's made with a lot of mayo. The sauces might be adding a little bit of fat to it. And then what else? Corn is usually like corn on the cob. Corn is actually a starchy vegetable. So that's really where, listen, you're at a barbecue. You don't have to do it perfectly. So if you want to have corn on the cob and keep your bun on your burger, totally fine, as long as the rest of the half of your plate is vegetables. And maybe, if you didn't have all the chips for a snack, I think that's completely fine. Now, if you kind of overdid it on the chips and now it's time to build your plate, maybe opting out for, getting rid of the bread and using the corn as a healthier starch alternative, going it for it that way. Beforehand, you can get like 100% whole wheat buns. If you have an allergy, you can make sure that everything's allergen friendly, but just be careful in certain, places. You're not sure what has like cross-contamination. So if you do have an allergy, speak up about it and talk to people and make sure you have different alternatives. All right. Okay, if you are able to choose like sauces and marinades for your meats, a lot of like the bottled dressings that are used for marinades tend to have a lot of added stuff to it. This most simple marinade, especially for if you're going to do a leaner protein like your chicken or your fishes, olive oil, lemon juice, and natural herbs and seasonings. Like, it is the best marinade that you'll ever need. It's the most simple thing. Olive oil, lemon juice, and natural herbs and seasonings. So it could be like garlic powder or fresh garlic or cilantro. I mean, whatever you want to do, believe it or not, that is enough to flavor your food. The grill really brings out the flavor in your food. So you will, you'll like it. I promise. If you haven't tried it yet, try it. You have to experiment, try new foods, and then maybe you'll enjoy it. So, thanks for tuning in. All right. Now, lastly, dessert. So when you get to the dessert table, once again, scan the table, see what the options are. My number one thing I'm going to say is fruit is always going to be better than like cake or cookies. With that being said, pick the things that fill you up. Like, especially if it are like the things that are going to like shut your brain off. So when it comes to even like, the meats, like let's say, for example, if you wanted to argue, so a hot dog has less calories than a hamburger, right? There. But is one hot dog going to make you full? I don't know. I'm not you. So maybe, if you think that a hamburger is something that's going to satisfy, you're going to be able to turn that head off and feel more content by having a hamburger, whether it has more calories or not, have the hamburger. The same thing goes with your dessert. If you're going to have a cup of fruit and it's going to lead to another cup of fruit and another cup of fruit, and then maybe you do decide to grab a cookie, maybe you would have been better off with just deciding, you know what, I'm going to have a cookie today. And that's going to be my dessert choice, you have to practice, and trust me, you'll get plenty of practice if you're socializing in the summertime. Practice what works best for you and pay attention to that, because I always give general recommendations and general guidelines on my live videos, but that's really why I specialize and prefer working with people one-on-one, because everyone's different. Everyone, has a different goal, a different mindset, different things that work well for them. So that's really where we need to talk about, okay, is this more about your physical health, this more about your mental health, what's going on where we're going to be able to set you up for long-term success. So So that's really what I do in my my strategy sessions. And it's important that you kind of are your own kind of self-monitor, and you kind of can check in with yourself and see what works for you and what doesn't. But with that being said, fruit on the grill is so good. Like peaches, watermelon, pineapple, those are all could be fun, festive. You can put that in, on the grill as your dessert option and see if you like it, So that's I think it. I'm loving my videos are getting like to the point each time. I wanted to leave up a little bit of time for questions before we kind of wrap it up, and I give you a little bit of last minute updates. So are there any questions? Let me see. I don't see any questions. All right, so the basic takeaways, not regarding this, but okay, so you can ask it, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time to answer it. So, or you can message me. About what? Wait. Oh, yes, part of my updates about my new course. Is that what you're asking? So guys, sorry, I forgot. So on my Facebook, you guys know, like, I record on both Facebook and Instagram. So Instagram, I'm not like looking directly at the camera. Facebook, I am. I think, JL, you're asking about last week's vote about what workshop I'm going to do. So currently I'm creating about the fitness, performance, nutrition, health, and weight loss. I think that's what, I apologize, I'm not quite sure. I think I know what you're talking about, because last week I did mention how I'm currently doing a breakfast workshop where I have like group webinars, exclusive webinars, and it's like a 21-day challenge. And when that wraps up, I'm going to be offering another workshop and another workshop and seminar. And so I was debating between whether I wanted to do a weight loss nutrition seminar or nutrition for performance for athletes nutrition seminar. So I put it out as a vote for people to tell me what they prefer, and I still keep getting like a split 50-50 down the middle. Okay, good, you are talking about that. Okay. I'm not sure, like, guys, I almost want to do a like a nutrition, like, I kind of wanted to do I'm sorry, like, I'm still not sure, but I will definitely let you know. You will know by next Tuesday when I go live, Tuesday the 29th at 8 p.m. Like, I go live every Tuesday at 8. You will know by then. So okay, fitness, performance, or weight loss while performing. Haha. Yeah. I think, honestly, I've been leaning more towards the nutrition for performance, but I don't want to get your hopes up, but I'm most likely going to do that. Thank you for your patience. Greatly appreciate it. All right. So let's just recap about how to have a healthier barbecue. And that is basically, number one thing is your mindset. Have a game plan going into it. And commit to two things. One thing that you definitely will do, and one thing that you definitely will not do, okay? And regardless, if you fall off track, we didn't really talk about this, but if you fall off track and you don't get through, the barbecue in the way that you wanted to, use it as a learning experience and grow from there. The only comparison should ever be to you. So yeah, maybe you did, overdo it on dessert this time, but maybe the old you would have also overdone it on the appetizers, the food, and the dessert. So for you, that's actually progress. So although you might in the moment feel kind of like you're beating yourself up and like you didn't do as well as you wanted to, compare yourself to you and look back on it. And if you're not happy with your progress, or you're not happy with how you handled the situation, then let's think of ways and strategies in which you can improve it next time. Okay? All right, and my offer at the end, I always offer an offer. So currently, right now, like I said, I work with people individually, one-on-one. I have one open slot left for an initial consultation. I'm very selective with who I work with. I do a 3-month program. So right now, currently, I have people enrolled where I won't be really opening up to new clients until probably July, but currently I do have one slot because I am, as you guys know, I'm very busy. I have a lot going on, so I want to be able to invest my time and effort into each of my clients individually. But I do offer the workshops if you are not able to work with me one-on-one. If you are interested in working with me one-on-one, though, we can set up a 15-minute phone call just to see if we're a right fit for each other. Send me an email to tipswithtony@gmail.com and use the word better barbecue. So I know that you watched this till the end and you're not just getting the free 15-minute call for no reason. I want to give it away to people who care and have been watching and are engaged in my videos that I love so much, and I am so happy that you are also supportive of me. So thank you so much. Hey, Aunt Kathy. I'll see you on Saturday. Hello. All right. So that is about it. I will see you guys next Tuesday, May 29th at 8 p.m. Once again, not sure what my topic is going to be, but I'm thinking I'm going to be talking about setting up certain structures and behaviors that can set you up for health, success, basically being successful in your health by setting up healthy habits and behaviors versus talking about like what diet's better than this diet and talking about the nutrition and the science behind it. I'm going to give you guys some realistic tools that you can apply into your lifestyle to set yourself up for success. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. You have all been wonderful. I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.